Hey there, superhero fans. Hopefully, you will stay tuned for this podcast edition. Okay, this is a DC podcast edition. Has nothing to do with Marvel. Sorry to let you guys down. But maybe in the future I'll make a Marvel podcast edition. But back what I was saying about DC, I recently made a video on the DC Encyclopedia book. I recently got in the mail. So if you have not seen it, check it out. The link will be down below. Okay, more news on DC. Okay, I'm a big fan of superhero movies, okay? Overall, okay? I love them with a passion. I recently have in my collection the Man of Steel, all the Batman movies, Dark Knight, all that great stuff. I don't have the Green Lantern. I know a lot of people didn't like it because it was not a really great movie, but whatever. The Green Hornet, they need to do a rebooted version, and I have let me see here. Superman Returns. That was not a good movie. They could do way better, but I think they overhyped it. Um, the old school Batmans from the 90s, I think I'll only have Batman from 89 and Batman Returns. That's it. I don't have the other ones. But you could get the box set. And I don't have the old school Superman movies. I think my brother does. So let's fast forward and discuss about the current movies coming out. In 2016, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. And when I heard about this news, I am so pumped up. But I was kind of bummed out when I heard the news that Ben Affleck, probably I said his last name wrong, but whatever, is going to play Batman. Really? Are you freaking serious? But I remember back in the day he played Daredevil, and he played a pretty good character in that era. I don't know if they're gonna reboot Daredevil in the future. Maybe, maybe not. It all depends. But I'm looking forward to this. Of course, Batman and Superman's gonna go at it. Then later on in that movie, probably gonna join forces. So I'm definitely gonna look forward to that. Then sometime in 2016, they're gonna have a movie called Suicide Squad. I have no idea what the hell that is, so I'm gonna look forward to it. Of course, can't wait for the previews on it. Same thing for the Batman and Superman movie. Then after Suicide Squad, in between, they're gonna have a movie called Wonder Woman. Now we all know that Wonder Woman was on the small screen back in the 70s. The corny song, but I'd love to get it on DVD version if I can find it. Then in 2017, the Justice League Part 1. And that's going to be awesome. The Flash and Aquaman in 2018. Holy crap. So the Flash and Aquaman in 2018 and Shazam, probably I say it incorrectly, but whatever. I'm sorry, comic book fans. In 2019, Justice League Part 2. So it's gonna be a two-parter. And Cyborg. Oh man, I'm so pumped up. And 2020, Green Lantern. Rebooted in the development, because in 2011 it was not a great movie from my point of view. Okay, I was kind of bummed out. I was looking forward to it, and I never knew that. And other movies I really liked is Red. I never knew it was a DC movie, and that's how the 2013 one, Red 2, the sequel. And what else? That's about it, really. So I'm looking forward to it. This is just gonna be an awesome. I guess they want to compete with Marvel. Of course, Marvel is the top of the food chain of superhero movies, but that's all I'm gonna say about that in that department. But what's your thoughts on these upcoming superhero movies? What one are you really looking forward to see? Um, did you really like The Man of Steel came out in 2013, or do you think it was kind of not so good, or do you think they overhyped it? I like your opinions, your thoughts, or do you prefer the Batman saga? The current ones, or you like the ones back in the day? Another thing is, I'm not too sure you heard that, but Michael Keaton wants to play Batman once again for his age. Maybe they could use him as the old Batman version. We'll find out in the near future. Um, of course, all the movies will be in the big screen, hopefully. Um, Overall, it all depends how much money they make. So I'm definitely gonna watch all these movies. I love Justice League. I remember the old school cartoons back in the 80s. So that's about it. Now, what else I want to say? I have some awesome not video, audio from the AMC movie news. This will be in my special podcast right now. Then after that, I will probably just end that on a high note. So here goes everyone, and listen up what I have to say about the upcoming DC films. Here goes.
Saying Warner Brothers has just announced a rather full slate for all of their upcoming DC comic book movies. And just to run down briefly here, let's see what we got. Okay, so the very first DC movie that is going to come after Batman vs. Superman in 2016 is indeed Suicide Squad, being directed by Ayer. And they say they are currently in talks with this is their quote, 4 A-list actors for Suicide Squad. So it's like, okay, that's interesting. Going on beyond that, then in 2017, 2 more movies. Wonder Woman, they finally announced it officially. We're getting a Wonder Woman movie. And Justice League are going to be in 2017. In 2018 is going to be Aquaman, and Jason Momoa has finally confirmed that he is going to be Aquaman. And The Flash is going to be in 2018, and that is going to star Ezra Miller, who starred in There's Something About Kevin, which was amazing in, and Perks of Being a Wallflower, which he was also quite good in. In 2019, we've got Shazam with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Justice League 2. Now, they also said there are also going to be other Superman and Batman movies, but they, as far as I know, during that call, this was all announced during a shareholders call this morning with the CEO of Warner Brothers. As far as I know, they didn't give any dates for Superman, Batman, so that could mean there's not going to be any more standalone Superman or Batman films until 2020, or it could mean they have plans to drop 1 or 2 Superman and Batman films in this window between 2015 and 2019. They've also said a rebooted Green Lantern is coming. So that answers the question about whether Ryan Reynolds would be returning. I think most of us kind of knew deep down that he wasn't. I was kind of hoping he would, but we knew that he wasn't. They've also announced they're going to be doing a standalone Cyborg movie, but they don't have a date for it. Once again, not specifying if a Cyborg and a Green Lantern is going to be after in 2020 or later, or if it's going to be peppered into this existing calendar. We may get 3 DC movies a year, which would be psychotic. And they also, this makes real sense. In that conference call, the Warner Brothers CEO said they are going to be spending $2 billion a year in marketing all these films coming out. Yeah, Lisa's getting a little Dr. Evil. $2 billion a year. Warner Brothers is all in.
Yeah.
I mean, they are all in, and they're going to be going gangbusters. Now, on top of all that stuff, new Harry Potter movies were announced. We knew about the Lego movies coming out, and then there's going to be all the great dramatic stuff that Warner Brothers puts out as well. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of crap here to talk about. I don't even know where to start, except, I don't know, let's start with this. I'm just pulling it out of thin air. Ezra Miller's going to be the Flash.
Yes.
Now, this puts the final, you know, we keep telling people, and yet people keep asking me, hey, so are they going to cross Green Arrow into the movie universe? Now, when are they going to bring the Flash from the TV show? And we keep telling them they're not. They've said forever they're going to keep their television and their movie universes separate, which, listen, is the one thing they have gotten far more right than Marvel has. This whole crossing TV into the movies, I almost swore, TV into the movie stupidity is just stupid. I mean, I've made my argument why I think keeping them separate gives far more creative freedom to the movie universe, far more creative freedom to the TV universe, so they can all do their own things. I think it's a far better way to do things, and that piece of garbage Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show is a testimony to that. Anyway, so this puts the final stamp on that. We've got a different actor playing Flash in the movies than we do, so that's really interesting. I don't know where to go. There's so much crap here to talk about. Schnepp, what's the first thing that really jumps out to you about all this stuff?
Well, number one, they finally announced it, which was great, because we're like, oh, they got all these movies, what is it going to be? So the thing that jumps out to me is they announced Zack Snyder is going to be directing Justice League 1 and 2, and that it's a two-parter.
Did they?
Yeah, that's part of the announcement.
I didn't know
they confirmed
I didn't realize he was going to. I think we knew he was going to do Justice League. I didn't know he was going to do Justice League 2.
Well, they're shooting them back-to-back, and they confirmed it's like, you know, number one drops in 2017, and another one drops in 2019. So it's kind of cool to see that that's going to follow through. The other thing that really popped out to me is, where's Superman? Where's Batman? You got, you know, we're in 2014. They're announcing stuff for 2016, all the way to 2020. No Ben Affleck Batman movie. No Man of Steel 2. So you know that those are going to get slid in there. They're just like, you know, Batman and Superman are going to be in Justice League 1 and 2, and they're probably taking a tip of the hat from Marvel. They're going to pop Batman into, you know, Superman will probably be in the Aquaman movie. Batman might show up in Suicide Squad. Who knows how they're going to rock that? But, I mean, if they're doing a cinematic universe and it's all shared, you know, they're going to be in these different movies. But I want a Batman movie with Ben Affleck. I haven't even seen the Ben Affleck version. But since I know it's like The Dark Knight, I'm all in, 100%. So when they announce that, that'll probably be next year, next Comic-Con. Oh, by the way, Man of Steel 2 and, you know, Batman 1, 2, and 3, they'll announce how those fit in. I'm sure that'll happen.
Alicia? What stands out to you the most?
So excited about the casting of The Flash. Ezra Miller, he's not an actor I would have thought for that role, but he is incredible. We need to talk about Kevin. He was so creepy and then so lovable and sweet in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
He's got range.
He's got such great range. He's a really good actor, and that's something that Marvel has been doing well, is casting these good actors for these roles. So it's great that DC is also following that. I'm also excited about Suicide Squad because of David Ayer. I love Fury. It's fantastic, coming out this weekend.
Which, by the way, we have an AMC spoilers review for Fury coming out this Friday, so keep your eyes open for that.
Oh yeah, I'm all in with his gritty vision. You know, he showed that with End of Watch too, and it sounds like Suicide Squad, about supervillains, and hopefully Michael Pena will be in there because he loves
he does like working with them.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Wonder Woman, great. She's got definitely confirmed, and that Momoa has been definitely confirmed. There's been so many rumors about it, so it's just nice to see an actual slate from them, and now we have so much to talk about over the next few years.
We got to switch up over the next few minutes. So one of the things that stood out to me is really strange, though, in this announcement was Shazam in 2019.
It's a long way away.
5 years from now, and you're announcing The Rock in it already, and it's not for another 5 years?
He's going to be tweeting a lot over the next few years.
A lot of
confusing tweets.
I mean, so should we assume then that the Shazam movie, look, we still don't know if Shazam is going to be in his own cinematic universe or not, or if he's going to be in this, because remember, Shazam, while being distributed by Warner Brothers, is not actually being produced by Warner Brothers, it's being produced by their sub-company, not Legendary,
So Legendary?
maybe it's Legendary.
No,
not Legendary. New Line? No. I can't remember.
don't know.
It was one of the. Anyway, it's one of the other sub companies that is actually producing it. It's the first time they're going to be doing that. So we still don't know if he's going to be in his own cinematic universe. If he's not, and Shazam is going to be in the main DC cinematic universe, we got to assume he's going to pop up in a Justice League here or there. Why would you announce The Rock as Black Adam 5 years before you ever getting around to that movie coming out. Like, can you see any other alternatives to that?
That's a weird one, yeah. And The Rock is not playing Shazam; he's playing Black Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 5 years is fine. I can wait.
He must pop in throughout it. Same with Cyborg. Cyborg's going to have his own standalone movie.
Cyborg's going to get
gonna
introduced
see
in Batman v Superman. So it's one of those things where it's like they're going to introduce all these characters. Cyborg will be in Justice League and in Justice League 2, and then he'll get his standalone.
I think
so that's
really
what they're
smart.
Yeah, they're planning that. So I'm sure whoever's going to be Shazam will probably be introduced in either Justice League or Justice League 2, just to introduce the character. Just sort of the way they're doing Wonder Woman, they're introducing her in Batman v Superman. Then I think, does Wonder Woman come out before Justice League?
I believe so, yes.
So then you have a little follow through, and all these characters. I don't know how many. If they did the same kind of 9-movie signage that Marvel did.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
So all these different actors can like weave through each other's movies.
I want to see who's Green Lantern this time around.
Yeah, that's now going to be a big question.
But I'm glad that they're giving him another movie because I think the character deserved more than what he got.
Yeah, I mean, and start the onslaught of tweets that are going to be calling for Bradley Cooper to be the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Right? You know that's coming. One of the really smart things about this, and I've been saying this forever, is I've been having this argument with a lot of friends of mine that the way DC needs to go, I've been saying this for years, is the opposite of the Marvel route.
Yeah.
Don't do 7, 6, 4 origin stories first and then Avengers. I think for DC it was a smarter idea. Introduce a lot of these characters that otherwise a lot of people won't care about in their bigger movies, so that when you do their standalone movie, the audience is already familiar with them, they're already attached to them, they want to see it. I guarantee you, this Wonder Woman movie is going to be much bigger now than it would have been if they weren't introducing her in Batman Superman first.
Totally.
Cyborg becomes a possibility because they're going to be introducing him in Batman versus
I
Superman.
agree. And people were talking about Wonder Woman's backstory about
Right.
Zeus, and it sounds like they'll just introduce her, and then during her standalone movie, that's when you'll get to see her origin.
Right. Now, what do we think about the Jason Momoa confirming that he's Aquaman?
Go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. It was great.
I think it's fantastic. Like I read whatever the fake copy of Batman v Superman, which I know is real, and it's awesome. And there's a giant scene for whoever was going to be playing Aquaman, and I've known it's Jason Momoa, just like we've known for months, and that it's finally out of the bag. It's like my only peeve would just be like, let's not call him Waterman. It's just a weird Aquaman. I know it's branded, but can't you call it King of Atlantis? Anything other than Aquaman?
I got a feeling they're going to go in the direction of, I don't even know if you're going to hear the word Aquaman spoken. I think he's going to be Arthur. I mean, that's what I think he's going to be.
They don't call him Aquaman in the script. He's never mentioned that he's just the ruler of Atlantis. He's commanding troops and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I think the title Aquaman is a little,
Yeah, but that's what he is, so you got to call him that. I just don't know if they'll actually say. They never called him Superman in Man of Steel, right? So they never did that, so I got to think that's the direction. I think it's great. I was one of the guys who, long time ago, I thought, well, if you're going to get... I was kind of for Jason Momoa playing Bruce Wayne / Batman. I thought he would have been... I thought he actually would have been pretty good. I think he's got better acting chops than people give him credit for.
He looks like a superhero.
He looks like a superhero. He's got... I mean, women swoon when this guy walks in the room, so he's got the Bruce Wayne thing down.
Yeah,
he's
got
obviously
the manliness.
big physical beast of a guy with actual combat training. I thought there was some upside to that, but don't worry. Like Aquaman, I think that's a very interesting thing. All right, let me look down this list again. Remember, guys, forgive me for a little bit scout here. This literally hit just before I left to come into the studio. Well, let's talk just for a second about Green Lantern, okay? I'm one of the very few guys that I've always thought the problem with Green Lantern was not Ryan Reynolds. He wasn't the issue. He wasn't the problem. It was everything else that was built around that film. But even though I was saying I would like to see him come back as Green Lantern, it would present logic problems to have him there because there's inconsistencies with what they did in the film, with what the movie universe is. It is probably the smarter idea to reboot the character. Do we think they're going to introduce Green Lantern before his movie, or will the Green Lantern movie really be the introduction of Green Lantern?
I think they should save it because we've got the memory of Green Lantern, the other movie. I'd love them to just save it till he gets his standalone.
I think they're going to introduce not only Green Lantern, but the Green Lantern Corps in Batman v Superman. It's a subtle introduction, and I think that Green Lantern will be in Justice League. He'll be in Justice League 2. Mm-hmm. He'll also be in The Flash.
So you think he will be in Justice League?
Totally, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee it. But I think it's a smart thing to do to save the Green Lantern standalone until you, just like you said, you're bringing in Wonder Woman with the big guns. Then
Right.
you do a standalone. Green Lantern will have then had like 5 years and all these other hopefully amazing films to be like skimping in and out of, so that you'll be demanding a Green Lantern movie. You'll
Right.
be demanding to see what Oa and the Green Lantern Corps is all about when you go to the Green Lantern movie. So
Yeah.
I think it's a really smart way to introduce it, and to introduce the entire Green Lantern Corps, which I think was the one successful part of the Green Lantern Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah,
Was
they did that well.
on Oa, and how they introduced the Corps, and everything about the Corps was fantastic. Everything else was what was the big problem.
Yeah,
So
I agree, but it was also quite confusing. The first movie, they had to do so much exposition at the start to try to set it up. So yeah, you're right. Maybe if they introduce him slowly, then you get more of a sense of the whole world that he lives in.
yeah,
before
and
he
also
gets
Jon Stewart, all these other characters that everyone knows, who's watches the cartoon or has read the comic book. There's a whole Corps. It's not just one Green Lantern. It's across the whole galaxy. So.
Okay, well, how about this? And we got a number of other movie stories we have to get to in a second, but what about this? I know some people are going to bring up some people notable by their absence. We do not see a Hawk Girl listed here anywhere. We don't see Hawkman listed anywhere. We don't see Martian Manhunter listed anywhere in all of this. You cool with those characters being omitted?
I am cool with those characters not having their own standalone movies yet. I think, yeah. I mean, Hawkman, if and when they introduce the whole idea of Thanagar and the Hawk world, I think that's something that could be done later. I mean, I don't think it's being omitted because they're like, look, 2021, we don't have to announce everything. I think all those characters will be mixed in eventually. So.
I don't know enough about the comic book origins of the characters to comment about them, but I look at the slate and there's so much happening that I think
Yeah,
they've got
yeah.
a ton to work on now.
Yeah, and for me personally, I've said before, it makes me very unpopular with some people. I don't like the Martian Manhunter character. Never have. Never found him interesting. Even in the Injustice Gods Among Us storyline, I never thought he was that interesting. So that's just me. Everybody's got some comic book characters they don't think are that interesting. Martian Manhunter just happens to be one of mine. We will keep a very close eye on this as it develops, and I'm sure we're going to have lots to talk about over the coming days and weeks and months about all this. But big play. But I will say this, going back to something you're saying about Batman Superman, I do believe we're going to see a standalone Batman and a standalone Superman movie between now and 2019. I think Warner Brothers is just saving we're going to steal the spotlight from Marvel thing again. They're going to save that announcement for the day after Marvel makes another announcement.
Right.
It's like, oh, Marvel just announced that? Batman and Superman movies, kids. Like, I think they're saving for that.
Hey everyone!
Well, my viewers, what's your thoughts on the AMC movie talk game on the DC upcoming movies? You agree with them or you disagree with them? Now, the Green Lantern really need a makeover. Ryan Reynolds did a great job, how it all started, but after that it sucked. And I really think the Hornet needs a makeover, maybe in the near future. So I'm really looking forward to this. I love your opinions, your thoughts down below, and don't forget my movie superhero fans. My latest book that I picked up is the DC Encyclopedia book. The link will be down below if you have not seen it. So this is your friend here at Team RI. I'm gonna sign off. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now, and good night.